Hi, Otep Shemaiah here. There's Annie. Antichrist. Disturb her in her sleep and you'll know why we call her that. Today I'm going to be responding to the radio personality, or lack thereof, who uses the name Kennedy, who recently blathered on about climate change and all this stuff. So I wrote a retort and I'd like to read it to you today. Straight from my blog, girlgoesgur.tumblr.com. It is titled, Kennedy is a Jackass. Some of you might remember her as a VJ, whatever that is. And no, it isn't an STD, though if it were, she'd still be one. On MTV way back in the glory days when MTV actually mattered. She's been on Bill Maher's show, she does whatever on Reason, blah, or blog. She's a pseudo-conservative-libertarian whiner who thinks that just because she speaks over everyone, people will assume she's more intelligent. Well, Kennedy, we don't, because it only makes you louder, which just amplifies your innate levels of obnoxious. But I digress. She's been filling in on a conservative talk radio show here in Los Angeles, 6:40 a.m., spewing the usual meathead talking points. Our government is a socialist monster, immigrants are bad, poor people are to blame for everything, and yada, blah, blah, blah. But yesterday, she was blathering on and on that climate change is a lie, a myth, a fantasy. And though the climate does change, humans have absolutely nothing at all to do with it. Well, as you might assume, dear readers, I strongly, irrevocably disagree with her. How can she live in Southern California and honestly retain this view? Just look up. Look at our nicotine-colored sky, the tar yellow haze that smudges the blue from the heavens. Smell the air. Is that what an ocean breeze smells like? Is that the soothing fragrance of a heated desert gale? This is a desert, after all. No! That's the rank odor of countless cars vomiting exhaust and corporate smokestacks shitting poisons into our atmosphere. Humans have no impact on the environment? Deforestation? No? Really? Okay. What about the island of trash floating in the Pacific? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch? No? What about the fact that almost every toilet in Southern California gets dumped off the coast in the Pacific? Red tides, anyone? No? That's not a human impact on the environment. Okay. What about fracking? Flammable water, anyone? Sure gives a new definition to a hot bath. Hardy har har. Humans have no impact on the environment. What about the countless species of animals that have been wiped out? Overhunted, overfished? What about the poisons in our oceans? There are warnings now in supermarkets that most fish caught in the wild contain traces of mercury. Well, how did that get there? It must have just miracled itself inside those fishies, right? Balderdash. Humans have no impact on the environment. Really. What about the Japanese who dumped millions of gallons of radioactive water into the ocean after their near-nuclear disaster? What about the radioactivity in the soil? Is that the product of nature? No! We did it! And we're going to keep on doing it until we either poison ourselves into extinction or enough of us have the courage to say, enough is enough, god damn it! Or something like that, dramatic. She went on to say, to give herself an out when all this science stuff is proven accurate, that even if climate change is man-made, it would make no difference if we, the United States of America, did anything to stop it because India and China dwarfed us, her words, in comparison with regards to littering the world with poisons. Okay. So, if my neighbors decide to empty their toilets into the street every night, I should do the same, or not complain and look away, because me not doing it would not make a difference. Wait, what? I think my brain just broke. Let me try it again. Just because someone else is doing something bad we're not supposed to stop it or not do it because not doing it wouldn't do anything. What kind of sense does this make? None. None at all. Ergo, hence, thus, heretofore, the conservative libertarian mind dumpsters. Kennedy and those of her ilk want to believe that we, humans, Americans, have the imperial right to do whatever we want, whenever we want, and there's no cause or effect. But even if there is one, it doesn't matter because we're humans, Americans, at the top of the food chain, and by gods, if we want to torch the place, then we'll torch the place. Well, those on that side of the argument can all go torch themselves for all I care. Why? Because I do care. I care about this planet, about my community, about my city, about my country. I don't want to open my windows in the morning to a nice big blast of car exhaust, but I do. I don't want a yellow summer sky, but there is one. I don't want the kingdom of Neptune ashed into extinction by man-made poisons, but it's happening right now. I don't want children sick and dying of things that we carelessly allowed to litter our drinking water, our soil, our food, our air, wherever it is, in this country or another, because we're all connected. And if we haven't learned that by now, then perhaps we are doomed. But I say, let's go down swinging. We must endeavor to silence the idiocies of people like Kennedy. My dog agrees. We must endeavor. Science be praised.